Hi everybody, it's Moira McDonald. Starting today with some Happy Mail. Now, I got a wee parcel from my friend Caroline McKeeman. Thank you very much, Caroline. Caroline knows full well that I am not overly keen on getting Happy Mail. And it's not that I am in any way ungrateful for your thoughts. I am delighted that you would think of me and that I'm your friend, but Caroline knows that I don't have any room. I have filled my house with stuff for making junk journals to the extent where I just don't have anywhere to put anything anymore, and it's that in itself has started to get me, it helped get me really depressed and anxious, and I said to her, you know, I can't cope with bringing anything else in. In fact, I'm going to have to start to throw things away, but in her infinite wisdom she thought it would be really nice to send me a junk journal advent. So effectively I've got something to open every day of December. Apart from that, I've also got some nice coffees to drink, which is very, very pleasant. I'll be fighting with my son for those. She also sent me a beautiful card, which I'll show you. Absolutely delightful. So thank you very much for that. I love my card. I mean, I love my parcel. I'm just annoyed at her, and she knows it, because she knows how I feel about these kind of things. But despite that, she batters ahead. So anyway, she said, look how lovely it is. It's all, I like your wee numbers. Have you embossed them, or are they just cut from mirror card? I've got a wee thing to open every day. Thankfully they're not big things, so with any luck I'll be able to find a wee somewhere to put stuff. But it's a wee parcel of stuff for every day in December. So thank you, Caroline, and I will kill you shortly. I will. I'm actually, if you keep this up, I'll drive over and I'll get you, because she lives in Scotland. So I'll go and find her and give her a piece of my mind, quite literally. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to package up hundreds of the books I've got, which aren't necessarily even vintage books, because I bought 17 Reader's Digest books with a view to gutting them, and needless to say it's never happened, because I hate making covers. So these books have remained in a box, and I have a massive big box full of books, and I'm going to end up going through them and firing them all over to her, and that'll teach her. Anyway, thank you very much, Caroline. I will kill you later, and now we'll get on to some crafting. So what I thought we could do today was, basically this is probably going to be the last things I'll be making for the actual journal. I thought it would be interesting to show you ink smooshing the other way, because you don't necessarily need to take your card into the ink. You can take the ink to your card. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I've got my trusty handy dandy piece of acetate. Now my acetate is marked with glue that has probably at some point dried to it, and no matter how much I try to wash that off, I'm not getting rid of it. But you know, that's crafting. The fact that my craft mat is as reasonably clean as it is nothing short of a miracle. Today what I'm going to use is, I've brought out just 3 of the normal distress inks as opposed to the, what do you call it, the distress oxides, because these work just exactly the same way. So we'll start with Wild Honey, which is a kind of orangey shade. Are you getting that? Okay, aye. So I'll put a little on my craft mat. I've got my Perfect Pearls in my water. I could have just used ordinary water, but I have to admit I do really like the Perfect Pearls. And I'm going to squirt it, and I get my droplets. Here's my piece of card. I'm trying to see where the best place to put the card is so that you can see it. Right, I think we're okay there. And I'm going to take my acetate and put it in the ink and take that to my card. And just smoosh it in the same sort of way that you would if you were taking the card to the ink itself. Right, I've got my baby wipe, so I'm going to wipe that down, and I'm going to wipe my mat. And in an ideal world, you let this dry before you tackle adding another colour to it. Now this is also a tea stained card, by the way, and I noticed that the tea staining is reacting with the distress ink, which is okay. It's not going to cause me a major problem. But what we want to effectively do is, in an ideal world, you dry it so that there's less chance of your colours mixing and just basically causing each other a problem. Now the colours I've chosen, I don't think they'll cause a major problem, so what I'll try and do is I'll try and add the green just now. It's bundled sage I've got, and we'll see how it goes. I really like bundled sage as a colour, by the way. I've used that in a variety of backgrounds across the years when I've been making cards. It's a really nice shade of green. Give it its wee spritz of water. I mean, you can buy all sorts of, I think Tim Holtz sells what's called the mini mister, and I'm pretty sure the same thing's sold by Stampin' Up. And I was going to get one for Stampin' Up, but they don't have any here at the moment. It's out of stock, so that was that. Right, wait a minute, am I still in view? I think I should be okay. So we'll add the green. Oops, that's just sat there as a big puddle. This is really just to provide us with a measure of interest in our background so that our card isn't completely plain. And this is also the best way, I would say, of doing it if you wanted to actually add distress ink to your junk journal pages. This is probably the best way, getting the ink to the page as opposed to running the page straight through it. And each time, obviously, I'm cleaning off the acetate. Now, the acetate's a bit wet, so I'm going to give that a wee chance to dry for a second, because I've wiped it with my... I'm going to get somewhere to get it stand up. Right, I stopped the video there to get my heat gun, which I've had for years. It's a wee bit noisy and I'll apologise, but I can't edit out the sound, so we'll just run over this very quickly. Right, I've got some pretty good tea staining in this. Okay, so that's two of our colours. The last one I've got here is Rusty Hinge. hinge of the rusties. And I don't think this is terribly different from, you know, when you look at the two shades together, there's not a phenomenal difference between Wild Honey and Rusty Hinge. Rusty Hinge is just a bit darker. It's like a dark orange almost. So I don't see that it making you know, a great difference to this, but it all adds to the interest when whatever kind of coloration you've got. Right, that'll do us. Right now, in theory I shouldn't need that in the immediate future, so we'll move that out the way and give it a chance to dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm hold that up for you, and I don't know if you'll see the sheen. I'm hoping you do. I can't really see, I can't judge, but there is a sheen from the Perfect Pearls through the ink. And I'll just run over it quickly with the heat gun again. You can heat both sides because it helps prevent extra warping occurring. Because obviously when you wet paper it starts to warp, when you dry it similarly it warps. Right, that'll do us I think on the drying front. When you've got, if you do have warped paper and you happen to have a Big Shot, you can run it through, bear with me, I'm just going to move those out the way, that's my wee mat. You can run it through the Big Shot simply to try and flatten it a little bit. Bear with me here. I've got to move everything about when I try to use something because I just don't have any room. Right, so I mean you can run it through without, let me move the camera back a wee bit, sorry. Run it through just to try and flatten it a bit. And I mean it's not foolproof, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean it'll definitely come out completely flat, but it doesn't do it any harm to try and get a wee bit of flatness there. Sorry I banged the camera, well I banged the tripod. Do you know it's funny, I was thinking about the camera this morning, and other folk have a much better setup because they managed to get their camera put up in such a way that it's above them, but I don't have any. I've got a mirror opposite me so I can look at my gorgeous face when I'm crafting. Right, that's made absolutely no difference to that, but that's just because it is quite a warped bit of card. I've got another one to do by the way, but we'll do that later. Now what I've got here is I've got lots of little bits of ephemera that I'm going to be using. That I dug out yesterday thinking I would be using them on the stuff we did yesterday, and I've still got them so we can use those. But over and above that I wanted to add even more interest to the background by doing a wee bit of stamping. So I've got what was sold as texture stamps. I'll show you what these are. They don't actually, I mean they make it look as if there's texture on your page because they'll give you, I don't know if you can see it very well, I'll add a wee bit into it and that'll make them more noticeable. So really all I'm doing, I'm hoping you can see them here, all I'm doing here is trying to add something that will be backgroundish, if you like. Now I would quite like to, I don't know if I need to stamp these off so that they're not very dark brown. I'll try. There, you get to see some of it there. So we'll add this now that I've stamped it off. In theory it shouldn't be, well, some of it's going to still be quite dark brown, I think, because I didn't touch all of it. There you go. And clean that up. I've also got a text stamp here that I'll add to the background. I'm going to use a different colour of ink. This one's Memento Peanut Brittle. I'm not going to stamp it all over because I don't necessarily want to have the whole stamp. It is literally just to provide a wee bit of interest in terms of the background, and we'll stamp over what we stamped there. You can't see it terribly well, it's only vaguely there. I'm going to do it up the top as well. And we'll stamp this up here. It might be a bit more noticeable. There you go. Clean that off. Daisy barks at the window, Chip runs and barks at the back door. Give me just a wee second till I go and either shut the door or distract Daisy. Wait a second. Daisy! Daisy! Shush! Come on. Right, now she's in here, so she'll be barking at the back door shortly. Right, I was just going to add another wee bit of, now I've got a wee splat here that I'll use. Maybe do that in green. I've got a green which is a Memento Bamboo Leaves. I stamped that off there so that it's not terribly, you know, I don't want anything that's going to be that vibrant that it just, you know, it causes an issue to the rest of the actual tag. Right, I think that will do that for that tag. Get that wee wipe. I can shut these stamps just now. Right, now this is too big for my book, so I'm going to cut it down. My paper trimmer doesn't seem to be cutting a very straight edge. It's a bit wicky wacky woo. Right. Oh, that's my phone. Just bear with me. Right, I'm trying to think what sort of size we want to make this. I think that'll do. And obviously we want to make this into a tag, so I'll get my scissors and cut the corners just now so that when I go to stick on things I don't stick them in the bits where the, you know, and losing them. I mean, having said that, it doesn't make a big difference. Do you know, I could use that. It's a wee bit of Tim Holtz paper. Bear with me again. It's my son's on his way back from Edinburgh. He was working in Edinburgh this weekend and he's on the train just now on his way home, and Hugh Pym is sitting in front of him. Now you won't know who Hugh Pym is, but Hugh Pym is a reporter for the BBC. So I think he generally does reports on medical stuff. So, you know, it's a celebrity as far as we're concerned. Right. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. Right, so here's my tag. Oh, here my writing's upside down. I cut the wrong end. Ha 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 ha. I don't suppose it matters, because this is just background stuff. Right, so we'll make a kind of collage type thing here. I'm going to stick that on it. So let's get my glue. It's just a wee bit of some of the Tim Holtz paper that I'd cut the other day. This, someone asked me about the glue, by the way. It's done by Art Institute Glitter Incorporated in Cottonwood, Arizona, and it's called Art Glitter. But it's got nothing to do with glitter. It's a dries clear glue, and I got it on Amazon, and it comes with a wee fine nozzle, which in my case is quite gunked up, but it comes with a wee fine nozzle. The only problem I had being in Britain is the glue, it was obviously somewhere in Britain, and I got the glue quite quickly, but the wee nozzle wasn't, and I had to wait about a fortnight for the nozzle to show up from America, which was quite annoying. But I subsequently bought, wait a minute, these, which are done by Sticks 2. Sticks 2 did the foil I had yesterday, but they do all sorts of other things, and I think they might be American as well. Let me just check. Although this was done in Britain, maybe they're not American. But basically what this is ultra fine tip glue applicators, and it's wee bottles that come with a nozzle, and you can decant your own PVA glue into them if you've got a dries clear glue and you want to have a fine tip. So I'd bought those. I've still got some of the glue in this art glitter bottle, so I'll use that up before I start with a new glue. Right, let's have a wee look at what we've got ephemera wise. So I've got some wee pictures, a couple of wee adverts and a couple of bigger pictures. So we'll, I think we'll start by putting down some of the wee things first of all, to fill up our picture. That one's a little advert from a magazine, and it's an old magazine. In fact, I got it on disc, and I just printed off some of the pages that had adverts on it, for a wee bit of extra added interest when I was doing the thing with. I've got, I'm going to get some wee bits of lace here that have been on my desk for quite some time. I'm going to add some of this to it as well. Now see, if I put that there, I'm just wondering how difficult I'll find it to get the crocodile through. I think the answer to that one is probably fairly hard. So I might not do that there. I might get some other lace I could use. So if I just add that across the top here, but I want to make sure I put it down far enough that it's not going to be in the way of the what do you call it, the crocodile when I go to use that. This wee bit of lace is disintegrating while I'm working because of how I've cut it. Just add that one there. It's Daisy started again. Right, and now I was going to put that, I did want to use that one there and maybe stick that on, but I don't want it covering absolutely. And do you know what, I think that lace is going to be, it's awfully thick, and it'll just get in the way of the image. The image won't be able to sit flat. So what I'll maybe do is just cut it down and add that there. Just adding a wee bit of this. This glue holds everything perfectly okay. I mean, I don't know if it's intended just solely for paper, but oh yeah, I should have read that. To clear metal tip, use non-rusting art glitter pen or soak in hot water for 30 minutes, then use pin. Who knew? Glue schmoo, eh? I'll just batter in. To be fair, I think I'm pretty sure I have washed or I've wiped it in some fashion at some point. Right, I want to put my, it's actually my piece of ephemera here is an advert, or not an advert, it's a bill from a company, a Scottish company. I've mentioned these before in a video way back. Pullers, which is in Perth. Pullers of Perth, they're dry cleaners. And I bought the bill as a piece of ephemera, and it looks of things, it's dated 1898, I'm assuming, and I added digitally the wee image to it just because I could, basically. So I'll stick that on there, and it is going to be slightly elevated at one bit, and there's not a lot I can do about that. Hold on, I don't want it overlapping. Just bear with me and I'll hold it down. Now I've got one of the other pieces of ephemera is it's a dictionary page. It's a digital that I did, a dictionary page with a butterfly on, and purely by coincidence the butterfly actually tones in quite well with the inks I've used here. Now I'm also going to add down the bottom another wee, I'll add another wee lady. I should have maybe distressed all of these images before I get started. I'm terrible for forgetting that, you know that? I'll distress the rest of them while I'm at it, the ones that I haven't stuck down. And then we're ready to go. Right. So we're going to stick this wee lady here. Stick her on. Oh, sorry. I'd also like to, bear with me while I go into my drawer. I've got my wee burlap ribbon. I think I'll cut a wee bit of that. And just add that across as well. Just another wee bit of interest. Another wee bit of texture. There you go. And finally what we want to do is take the crocodile and punch the hole in the centre, or as close to the centre as we can get. Then take, I don't know if you can hear that noise at my back. It's, I know without looking that it's Timmy. It's a dog toy that every now and then he picks it up and all he does is shakes his head side to side, and this thing's quite heavy looking, so it must be absolutely addling his brain when he does it, but he does it quite regularly. It's something, one of these things that he likes playing with for some reason. There we go, that'll do for that tag. Okay. So we're ready for the next tag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of corrugated card to this one once we've done everything else. But what I wanted to do first of all was I was going to paint it. I've got this, it's called Lumiere paint. It's a light body metallic acrylic paint. And you can, as far as I'm aware, actually use it on fabric as well as use it on paper. So, wait a minute, I think it's a wee bit gunked at the top. So I'm going to just add, and it's completely gunked at the top. Give me a wee second. I don't want to, I'll use my glitter. No, wait a minute, I've got a pin just to degunk it. It actually comes in a bottle as well as these wee tubes, but I had bought the wee tubes because it came in a set of, I got them a while back, it came in a set of I think 10 different colours, and I just thought it was really interesting. But it's like everything else, you know, you buy these things and then, I'm very guilty of buying stuff and then not using them because I'll have seen something else and I've thought, oh, you know, I really like that. So I'm just going to paint this first so that it's got a chance to dry before we stick it on. And it'll add another interesting little dimension to the tags. And I think I bought these on eBay, I'm pretty sure. They come in all sorts of colours, by the way, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Gorgissimo! That's me speaking Moira Italian. Right, so that's then painted, as is my finger. Move them out the way to give them a chance to dry. And oh, it's chases, chases. That's in plain, by the way. I'll just wash this brush, give me a wee second. Right, that's me washed my brush. We'll do the ink smooshing. Now I've changed the green shade, I've brought in Mode Lawn this time. So we'll try and speed things up a wee bit by adding all three to our surface at the same time. And Perfect Pearls. Ooh, colourful. Hoping this isn't short. Does. We'll add our texture stamping again, just for a wee bit of interest. Maybe just give that a wee quick blast with the heat gun to try and dry it a wee second. Give me a wee second here. Now, it is all too possible to burn yourself with heat guns, so be very careful if you use them. Right, there we go. Don't know if you're seeing the sheen, but you're at least seeing the colours. And we'll go into the stamping. So I'll start with my text, and I'll do it I'm going to do it in the darker brown colour this time. The beauty of using a small ink pad, and by the way, the only reason I've got small ink pads is because they're cheaper. The benefit of using the smaller one is you can be very sketchy with where you place your ink, do you know what I mean? So you can, it doesn't necessarily look as if you're actually stamping something. It does look as if it's an imprint from something that's been laid on top of. I'll use my peanut brittle. I'm going to use the Mode Lawn itself here. Got some lines as well. Use it peanut brittle for that and see how they look. They look like somebody's just went swish across a page. And a wee splat. I'll do the splat. Where's the darker brown? I'll do it in this rusty hinge and see how that looks. Yes, you go. I'll maybe add some text up the top actually. I'll do that in brown this time. Oh no, it was brown I did the last time. I'll change the direction in the text though, so because I don't think it'll all form the one. I'll need to cut this tag, it's too big. Right, for texture stamping that will do us, I think. Move all my inks out the way, and my ink thingies. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll actually take them off my desk. That's the best course of action, because if I do that, I've got more room to move. Right, I've lost one. What did I do with my... Oh, it's there. Periodically I tidy all these up, and as soon as I start using them they just end up in an absolute terrible mess again. Right, that's us. What have we got ephemera wise? Not an awful lot left actually. But I don't suppose it really matters, we don't need an awful lot. Oh, I've got to cut that down, haven't I? What we'll do is maybe cut that in this time. Oh, and I threw them away. Right. I'll just need to stamp my corners again. I made them quite sharp, but I don't suppose it really matters. Now I've got some Tim Holtz here, with a wee man, so I'm going to tear him. And I'm distressing because once you've done that, you'll leave the white core of the cardstock really noticeable, and it just is glaring when the rest of whatever you're doing isn't that colour. So I'll stick him there. Here's my glue. Just give me a wee second to shut that door again so we don't need to hear Daisy Dog down. Right, so you can back at that window and not be quite so loud. Right, so we've stuck, oh Timmy, we've stuck our wee man there. I want to add the gold panel. Now that's going to overhang there, but that's okay, because what we can do is just cut a wee section it off. It's not the end of the world. Just hold it down for a second. And then, let me see, what else have we got? We want to add, we'll add a wee bit of lace. Add that there. No, I think the big pictures are going to be too big because we don't want to cover with wee man. I'll add another wee bit of this and just add a smaller picture. Now it's going to, again, I'm going to have to cut another wee bit off of this, because I don't want it to overlap. I don't want to cover the wee man completely. I don't mind covering a bit of his shirt or that, but so we'll stick that there. Cut that wee bit off. Oops, there's that blooming flower thing that's still on my desk. I've got a couple of wee pictures left, so we'll just use them. Got a wee advertisement for unsightly hair, and he's got a moustache, so he's got unsightly hair in this instance, because that moustache is way too thick. You could have done with trimming that, pal. My husband had a haircut at the weekend. He periodically goes through this thing where he thinks he's still, you know, young enough to get away with being a hippie, and he'll just leave his hair. And it always, I mean, it's always a complete and utter mess. And he looks really untidy, and he's always had a beard, which is fair enough. I don't have a problem with a beard. But again, he'll not touch that, and he ends up looking like, you know, some old salty sea dog. But thankfully he decided at the weekend that it's an awful lot of effort for him. He doesn't keep good health. He's got a lot of respiratory problems, and he's got arthritis, and he's got kidney problems. And it really, when the hair's long, it causes him a lot of problems, because he likes to try and keep it at least clean, but it uses way too much energy to dry it. Just, you know, being able to hold the hairdryer, so he had to bite the bullet and admit that it was too much and cut his hair at the weekend. So I was quite glad at that, to be honest. I want to add some wee bits of lace at the top. I want to add something along there. I'll put the glue on the card, because it's easier than putting it on this particular lace. This lace is very fine, so it's easy to do that. Right, and I've got another wee bit here which I'll just cut a wee snippet of it. We'll just add that across there. Now this is a bit bigger, this lace, so I can put glue on this one. Do you know what we need? We need a vintage button. If only I knew where I had them. No, they're all metal buttons. They're little buttons. They're not in that. I think they're in here. They're vintage, and these are vintage. I like that, that's great. Buttons of every type, and of course you can never just buy like 2 or 3, so you end up with shoals of them. Well, you do when you have a drink and you're on eBay, because I ordered some one night and completely forgot, and about 20 minutes later went into an auction and bid on some. And of course, as luck would have it, I won. So I had a shoal of buttons. But it happens. Right, I think that'll do me for this one. What I do need to do though is get my, there's 2 wee ladies on the way to another journal, get my crocodile again, oh, while everything falls over when I pick it up. Now what I'm going to do is, once this is finished, I've got to obviously still put ribbon in these, but that's the, I think that's the ephemera taken care of. So what I'll do is I'll do the walkthrough tomorrow, and then the day, either tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to start making a card, a Christmas card to go with this. Because of the time of year we're doing it. So, Merry Christmas! And I'll do that card in the kind of vintage style. Right, there we go, that's that. So, we've got, is that in shot okay? Got some interesting elements there. And that's another wee tag to go in the journal. So I've got some itty bitty tags or bits of card left that I've decorated. I'll in some fashion alter them and include them with the journal. Something else I did, hold on, I'm struggling to get this in here. Hold on. Nope. Ow, chihuahua. Nope. I thought it shut tighter than that, but it doesn't. Right. Something I did last night when I was making my dinner was, bear with me. I did an extra wee bit of stamping. Where's the book? Oh, it's on these. What I did was I did some panels for these so that you can use them definitely for journaling. I want to take that out because I want to decorate that. And I did a wee bit of random stamping there in green, which blends in quite well with the actual colour. Right, so that's that. So I'll tidy up, finish off these wee tiny tags, and we'll do the walkthrough tomorrow. So thanks very much for your time. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you learned something there. Any questions or that, just give me a wee shout and I'll see if I can resolve it. Thanks very much for your time. See you soon. Bye.